and welcome to another episode of Strangers in the Alps, a movie podcast where every week we discuss movies in an in-depth and wacky journey. I'm Dan.
I'm Travis.
I'm Sam.
I'm Frank.
Thank you, Frank. And this week we watched a movie which I thought was very appropriately titled. I know the other week, a couple weeks ago, I said, I don't like the title of this movie. Not this movie, whatever that movie was.
Near Dark.
Near Dark. I thought this movie was very appropriately titled, and we'll get into why.
It was
only
called
two
Blind.
words.
Yeah.
It's only 2 words.
Well, it's 2 words, but hey,
The Blind
Travis,
Man.
And they're not don't see.
why don't you read us that back of the VHS?
Let me
Okay.
get you the Braille version.
I knew you were.
It's a crinkly VHS.
Yeah, I know it's a crinkly.
Our audio for VHS just gets weirder and weirder every week.
Every time. Because we're asking
Just like they're
Travis
still
to
ma-
do
just like
something,
they're
and
still-
it's always sketchy when you ask Travis to do the simplest thing. Read the
Travis
fucking
sketchy.
back of the VHS tape.
You're talking right now.
I know. Sorry about the fucking too.
Hey, we don't fucking swear on this fucking podcast, so stop fucking cussing.
Yeah,
Can you
bitch.
I'm sorry, it's biatch to you.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Is it 'cause he's
man.
gay?
For you first-time listeners,
This got very blue and dark. Go.
I have
Just like
something
your
to tell
shirt.
you, listeners.
Oh.
I'm gay.
Really?
Really? Okay, Nancy.
That was me. Really?
Danny.
Okay, read it, Travis, before we all get in trouble.
hoping to walk away with a massive fortune, a trio of thieves break into the house of a blind man who isn't as helpless as he seems.
I would say that's a perfect summary.
Best
And you did it
decision
all
ever.
in one take. Good job.
All in one breath.
I was going to say, I didn't hear you take a breath or anything. Very nice.
It's like you didn't breathe.
So the movie's called
Don't breathe, don't breathe, don't-
It's
called Don't
It
Steal.
came out in 2016.
Directed by
Go ahead.
Fede Alvarez,
Yep.
who directed
I don't know.
Evil Dead 2013.
Okay.
Which
Did
we
I see
watched.
that?
Yeah, we
Yes,
watched
you
it on
did.
podcast.
We did an episode on it.
I think
it
it
was
was
the
the
Evil
one where
Dead
she's-
remake.
She was trying to get off the drugs.
Yes.
Right.
Same girl.
Yes.
Right. Oh, you're right.
Oh,
I
this-
do like her.
This movie actually
Is
has
it
a
Levy or Levy? I said Levy.
I think
Levy?
it's Levy.
Because
Levy?
Eugene Levy. Oh, it's Levy. I mean Levy.
You know,
I do like her.
After this movie came out, it was a pretty big box office success comparatively. And
After it came out?
after it came out, I used to work as a courier, as you guys know.
What?
I actually delivered.
I'm shocked.
I delivered a congratulation gift to the director.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
Damn.
Did he see it?
I'm
No, I was
moving
just
on.
wondering, like, did you see him, like...
Oh yeah,
like, did he open
I
it
didn't-
there?
it
or
didn't
did
open
it-
in front of me.
What was the
Uh-huh.
congratulatory
singing-
gift?
I have no idea,
Telegram.
but it was from Sony.
Was it a turkey
Aw.
baster?
Okay, we'll get to that.
No, that was my gift.
Okay, so
The gift of
with-
childbirth.
staying with tradition,
Yes.
are we good with the summary? First
Yes.
of all, do we need
Are
to
you good
expand?
with
do we
it?
need to expand on it at all?
Absolutely
no, 'cause
not.
I feel like with us talking through,
We'll
it'll,
get there.
yeah.
Okay, so let's do our pre-thoughts before we saw the movie. I don't know how many times you've seen it. I don't know when you saw it, but
Ooh.
I will start.
Yes.
Unlike most of the movies that we discuss, that I say I watched it because I was told to, or I didn't want to see it. Well, I didn't want to see it. But I remember when this movie came out. I very specifically remember seeing a trailer for it. I remember reading about it. I remember actually reading about the sort of basic plot idea of it and what it was about, and thinking, this actually sounds really cool. No, thank you, I don't want to see it. It also reminded me of a movie from the 1960s called Wait Until Dark, which was with Audrey Hepburn and Alan Arkin, and it was about a guy, I think it was the two guys breaking into a house of a blind woman and a whole survivalist thing that takes place in the middle of the night. In that particular movie, we are definitely following the heroine who is blind. That's who we're rooting for.
Did you ever see...
It's a really good movie, by the way. It was based
it
on
called again?
Wait Until Dark. It was
Wait
a
Until
Broadway
Dark.
play.
Oh, really?
And then became a film. Yeah, it's really good. Really well done. The acting's great.
Mm-hmm.
But only similar in the concept of
Like
a
robbery,
blind person and a
robbery.
and
Do you
a robbery.
remember-
That's the only thing. Everything else is completely different.
Do you remember which movie you were watching when you saw the trailer?
No, I don't. What would have I been watching?
Christmas
It would
Vacation.
It would have had to been the same like vein.
Yeah.
So
Yes, it would have had to have been.
2016,
Yeah.
2015. Was it that? No, that came out after. I was gonna say, what was that one movie? Simple Favor, maybe.
I
maybe.
think that was 16, I
26.
believe.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wait, why is it
gonna
called
ask?
Waiting for Until Dark? Isn't she already blind?
Is it already
Because
dark?
it happens in it happens in the middle. It happens at night.
Weren't you?
Oh, okay.
Weren't
Yeah.
you gonna ask him something else?
Or anyone here? Have you heard of a film, a Wes Craven film called
Who's that?
Yes.
The People Under the Stairs?
I do not.
Yes.
Yeah, I've
No.
heard of that. I've never seen it.
Yeah,
though.
it's actually pretty good. So that one
Prequel to
is
Harry Potter.
it's about the same people, a kid and a group of people that break into a house, and I won't give it away because none of you have seen it, but not everything is what it seems.
Mhm.
Okay,
Your
so let me
pre-thoughts.
finish my pre-thoughts.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
we're done.
So
Sorry.
I was actually very interested in seeing the movie, even though at the time when it came out, I opted out because these are not movies that I don't journey into watching these movies. But considering we picked it and that's the movie, I was like, okay, I'm definitely interested. Brian, one of our friends, saw it and said, oh yeah, you should definitely see it. So that gave me encouragement. That was my pre-thought.
Nice.
And yours, Travis?
Travis, you gotta say how many times you've seen it.
Don't breathe while I count. I don't know. I have. Okay, so as you all know, and if you don't know, now you
I
know.
love you preface this the same way
Well,
every
because
week.
I
If you
preface
know,
it
you
because
know.
for people that are
What
maybe
are you
listening,
prefacing?
I'm just saying I enjoy the Evil Dead movies a lot. So because of that, I like.
This is not an Evil Dead movie.
But can you let me finish?
Guess I have no choice.
Because in 2013
We're
we
all
got an
very,
Evil
like-
Dead. We got an Evil Dead remake with Fede Alvarez, and I was a big fan of that movie. So from the get-go, I was like, whatever this guy's next movie is, I'm gonna watch it. I'll be there opening weekend. So I don't know. I mean, I remember this guy Stephen Lang was also the villain in Avatar. I
Oh,
always thought he
yeah.
was a good actor. So from the first trailer, I was like, I'm watching this, and then I saw it opening weekend.
Okay, cool. What's your pre-thoughts? You're about to say what you think about it, so
No,
I
I
tried to.
didn't.
I
Oh
want to
wait,
cut
so
you
how many
off.
times have you seen it?
Oh, that's what I was thinking. I have maybe seen it entirely, maybe like 3 times, 4 times.
Including
But
this time?
but I've seen this movie gets played a lot on Pluto TV.
Oh, okay.
So I've seen like bits and
Snippets?
snippets of it a bunch of times.
Okay. For me, I think it's the same thing as Travis. I've seen the trailer, heard the director, knew because of Evil Dead. So I was like, same thing. Oh, I'm interested because I also really like the remake of Evil Dead, so I was a fan. And then I've also seen it like 3 times.
Oh, interesting. I've only seen it once other than this other time.
So
So
you've seen it
twice?
twice.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Once other than this other time
So
that I
1
saw.
plus 1 is
2.
That'd be
5.
twice.
I think I'm
Good
trying to.
job.
I'm
I
trying to.
wanted to see it in theaters, but I actually waited until
never?
it came. No, at the time I wasn't really going to movies a lot, so I missed a lot that came out in like 2015, 2016, 2017. That
so you missed a
era.
simple favor.
No, I did actually see that.
Wait, a Simple Favor is the same director?
No,
No.
it
No,
just
no.
came around.
That has nothing.
No.
That's stylistically, it's nothing
But I
the
think
same.
that I
People
saw.
change.
I like Simple Favor.
It was fine. They're doing another one.
That was very entertaining.
It's
they are.
okay.
I liked it.
I'm sorry.
Like,
People,
there's
people
like
have very
one
different
segment.
opinions about it. I found it to be a really fun kind of popcorn movie
know,
that just kind of
yeah.
entertained me.
I
was
just felt
like,
like Blake Lively acted
I loved her.
overacted.
I loved
Wait,
her.
no. Simple Favor was like 2017, I think, because it came out a little bit
maybe.
after. Didn't
Yeah, I was at.
it Crazy Rich Asians?
I
no?
will tell
Yeah.
you, most people have recommended it to watch it and say it's not that good. So
Crazy
I'm
Rich
like,
Asians or a simple
yeah.
favor?
Simple Favor.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
like,
think it's
wow. So it's just me.
You've got to have a specific taste, I think.
You gotta be a girl.
You mean you have
A
to have? You
girl.
mean you have to
Girl.
have taste? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Sam.
No, but I get it. Most people, like, I was so surprised. Like, most of my friends, what? Really? You
Yeah.
like that? I'm like, yeah, I thought it was really fun. I showed it to Joni, watched it. I saw it in the theater, and we streamed it. And she said, oh, this is great. So I think it is you're right. I think it is kind of I love the tone of it. I love the humor of it. I love the kind of
I thought it was
the
fun.
playfulness of it. I thought
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
really
there
fun.
you go.
Really
It was
fun.
like
Great,
playful
no,
with
but
edge.
fun, yes. Go ahead.
So don't
I
breathe.
remember wanting to see it, based off the
Really?
trailer.
You're trying to push us forward? Really? You got a lot of nerve.
Like a turkey baster.
Okay, I feel like
We'll get to that.
this is the second time you've
Because
made that
that's
joke.
obviously going to be his 4 out of 5 or
Yeah.
whatever.
No, it's not.
Turkey basters.
No, it's not.
Or
that-
that's just his favorite scene.
That joke is gonna keep coming.
Seriously, folks,
but
try
yeah.
the veal. It's delicious.
Continue.
Tip the
Did you
servers.
say continue or continue?
Continue.
Aye.
But yeah, that's it. I saw it. Definitely saw it. Saw it twice.
Okay, cool.
So you came twice.
Sam,
I will say.
did you see it in theaters once, twice?
Twice.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think
Were you working in the theater where it was playing?
Mayhaps.
So that doesn't really count.
Because I went to see it with.
That's like just stepping out of the lobby and into the
yeah,
theater.
I went to see it with my best friend, and I have a story about that. And then I liked it so much, I brought my parents to go see
Yeah.
it.
I think, the first time I think I saw it with Jennifer, I think we were like, oh, let's go. So I think we saw it in Dolby Cinema.
Oh wow.
it came out in Dolby?
It came
Yeah.
out in Dolby
Interesting.
Cinema.
Cool.
And, but Sam, I want you to tell your story.
Oh,
after
wait.
Because I'm
Before-
going to,
How was the theater experience?
yeah.
Packed for me.
Yeah.
Packed? Oh, is it part of the story?
Mine
Yeah.
is.
Then
mine is-
continue.
Oh, hold on. So, I remember when I saw it in theaters, like I said, it was like dead quiet. And then I think, because unlike Frank, around that time, 2015, 2016, I was going to the theaters a lot.
Damn,
wow,
And,
okay,
no,
come
and
here,
I'm just
broke
saying,
bitch.
Yeah,
and I'm just
throw it
saying
in your
because this
face.
movie, I remember it was
Like the turkey baster.
No, I'm saying this movie did really
Wow.
well. This movie did really well when it came out. Like I think it was #1 in the box office 2 weeks in a row, and I think it stayed in the top 10 for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, it was very
So
successful.
I remember like when I'd be going to, I'd come out and every time like a screening of Don't Breathe would let out. I always liked to see the people's
Yeah.
reactions
Yeah.
because I just remember one time like I was walking and then someone came out and they were like, "Man, that movie was fucked up, man." They were like, "Oh, that was not happy." But so Sam, so what happened when you
No,
were?
mine's gonna ruin the thing, so I'll wait.
Oh, okay.
Can't wait.
Okay. So
So where are we going here? I'm ready to start rocking.
we're
on this
going
movie.
all the way.
So what do we want to?
I don't
Where do we
want
want
to
to start this?
Dan, you said when you saw the poster, you said you were not excited. Why? Why is that?
Well, he wasn't
Was it-
excited from the get-go,
Did you
right?
think
When
it
he
was
first
disturbing
saw the
because of-
trailer.
No, from the very beginning, I knew what it was about.
Oh, you did?
I told you,
Wow,
I
you
saw
didn't
the
listen to
trailer.
No, it's because
I read about it.
when
I
we-
read reviews,
when
so I knew.
I meant from last week when we picked it because I don't think you
didn't kn-
recognized
last
it.
week I didn't recognize it.
Oh,
It,
so
it
what
wasn't
about
until
the
It
poster?
wasn't until I actually when I started the movie, I actually went, "Oh wait, I know this movie."
Oh, okay.
When
Wait
the
a
movie
second.
like about 5 minutes into it, oh wait, I know this movie. I know.
By
I,
an hour
I
10, he's like,
So,
oh.
I remember when
When
this
the
movie, and
credits
then I
rolled.
remembered
When the
what it was
credits
all
rolled.
about. I remember
Yeah.
reading about there's a blind guy. I didn't know
Yeah.
the details, but I remember that.
When it ended, Dan was like, "Oh, I have seen this movie."
Hey, hang on, I know this movie. This happened to me.
Who
Well,
were you
Dan,
in the
didn't your
story?
dad run?
not
a-
do a turkey
Dan,
baster joke.
No, I was gonna say, didn't your dad run a security company? So they had a bunch of keys, and you would break into houses.
So are we summarizing
gonna
this
say-
or no?
I don't
Because
know.
this
I
happened
don't know
to
what
me.
we're doing.
My question was, do we need to summarize? And
No.
everybody
I think
said
it's
no. but-
fairly.
I mean, there are things though about the plot I think we need to know
Yeah.
about.
I think you're the best at it. Just a quick overview,
Yeah.
an outline.
So there's 3. Well, let's call them burglars,
Yeah.
just to make it easy. And they break into houses, and the way they pull it off is because there's 2 guys and a girl, and one of the guys' dad is, I guess, is a big security operation, and so he has access to keys and access to codes and all this stuff, and they specifically, break into these houses where they can decode them, get in, get out, and the issue is that the guy that they deliver the goods to, basically they're not getting a lot of money out of it, but all of a sudden they come upon this, and I don't know the details, and I don't even care. They come up this discovery that there's a guy who has like $300,000 cash in his house. There was an incident that happened in his life. He's a vet from, I guess, Vietnam. His daughter was killed by this woman. There was a settlement. He got a ton of money, and they believe this cash is all in the house. So it's an easy in and out. They discover the guy's blind. I'm not going to go into all the details, but and then the guy has a crazy fucking dog, and but this is a quick in and out. So that's basically the idea. They get in. Obviously, it's not a quick in and out. Disaster unfolds. The blind guy, for being blind, has a hell of a good way around his house and everywhere else. I will get to that later. and it just all goes bad.
So
and all bad all the way to the end. I mean, we'll talk about the end when we get there, but it's basically a very, crazy ass wild ride once they get basically trapped into this house.
So what you're saying is the house looked like an easy target until they found what was inside.
Exactly.
I think
Yeah.
at face
Oh,
value.
yeah. There's also, which we'll get to, a big reveal, which I did not know when I saw it.
I don't think anyone
that
did.
big reveal
Yeah,
was
and I
a
was
quick
gonna
in and out.
say, okay. At face value, that's like that plot is interesting in and of itself. Because how are you gonna
Absolutely.
morally rob a blind guy?
Yeah.
And then how are you gonna do it? And I feel like I would have been interested just at that.
Yeah.
But then we discover a lot more.
I thought it was
We-
very interesting. Hang on one second, Trevor. I thought it was very interesting that the movie presented, because if you look at the first scene where they break into the first house, it's sort of the setup. This is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of the stuff that happened. The one guy's like literally jacking off and jizzing all over this really nice house. I'm
He
like,
was peeing,
okay, man.
wasn't he?
No.
No.
Oh, I was
No,
not
no.
paying attention.
He was
Coming.
self-pleasuring.
Ooh,
There was a little bit of
self-pleasuring?
breathing going on.
And she was trying on,
Clothes.
out clothes and laying on the bed. So right away, your first take is, oh, you guys are, whatever.
Terrible.
You're terrible people.
This is
Yeah.
the dark
And then we quickly sort of get to know them individually, which is I made a big note about on my notes, which was I really found this trio very interesting.
How so?
You have the girl who clearly is looking for something better. She has her little sister. She has her really jackass mom, which that whole scene is like.
What
I mean,
happened?
it was just so blatantly slamming me over the head with, "Isn't this awful?
Mhm.
She's terrible.
I
This
also
mom."
have notes about that.
and
yeah.
and okay, but I mean,
Let's
I
discuss.
accept.
Huh?
Let's discuss.
Okay,
Well,
can we just
that's
hang
what
on?
we're doing.
I can accept it because I understand we're trying to set up a very clear path.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the other guy, not her boyfriend, but the other guy whose
In love
dad
with
is
her?
whose
Oh.
dad is the security guy. So that's sort of their. And yes, he's obviously in love with her. He seems like a guy who really probably could be doing better than this, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the guy in
The
all
douche.
these movies that you go, okay, you're gonna die.
You know what his
You're
name
a
is?
fucking idiot. And
Yeah.
why are you with?
I was gonna say.
What is his name?
Money.
Money. So here you have this guy who's with this girl. That doesn't work for me. And
Yeah.
and this other guy. This trio. And I'm going to say this with this trio does not work for me. Now, does the movie work? That's totally different.
Mhm.
But this trio, I'm going. This is no. This
I-
guy's just here. This guy's an idiot. Why would you be dating this guy? Please explain this to me. Because it was so
Girls,
fucking
you
stupid.
know?
I was
Yeah,
actually
I
thinking
knew
the
somebody
same
would
thing.
say that, but it just doesn't. Again, it wasn't enough.
You've
to
never
draw
been a
me-
teenage girl. You don't
It
know.
wasn't enough to draw me out of
Get
the
out of
movie.
my room.
It was just more. Oh, you're first one dead. I mean, that's literally what I said to myself.
Yeah.
Oh, you're first
To-
one down.
to the
You're
douche-
not gonna make it through act. You'll be done by the middle
Yeah.
of act 2.
What are you gonna
You're
say?
an easy one.
I was gonna say I was thinking that when the movie first started too, and yeah, that the scene with Rocky and her mom is very
It's Rocky?
That's her name. It's Rocky.
I know her name's
it's-
Rocky.
It's very like okay, yeah, you're doing the legwork. I get it.
Mhm.
But it does it well, in that like it just it gives you enough to for me at
It's
least.
in and it's out.
Yeah,
It's one scene.
it's economical.
I was
Unlike
fine
that
with it.
heist.
I was honestly fine with it.
And I feel like that, and then her desperation to get this money, just kind of like answers that question for me at least. And that
She wants to get her sister out. The whole
Yeah.
thing. Let's get out of here, man.
and she does make a comment about how all the people that they know are gone. So like clearly people are trying to leave this dump. So
And it looked like a dump.
Yeah.
Well, they all kind of need each
very
other.
much so.
They all kind of need each other
Mhm.
in a weird kind of way. It's just the
And I
the
agree.
money guys. Like, come
I agree.
on.
Like it doesn't
Give
make
me a little more
sense,
texture
right?
here.
Like it doesn't make sense that they're together as a group because the group
Or it
clearly like it does and it doesn't in
Right.
that like
'Cause
this
if
is all
everybody
that's
left,
left.
On
Yes.
face
There we
value,
go.
it does
Yeah.
not make sense.
does. Yeah.
But underneath it, I'm still okay with it
Yeah.
And I
because
was,
it just works for the movie.
I was gonna say, sorry, just when they were spying on the old man, and it's this the normal guy's name's Alex. Again, normal name out of the other two.
Oh, it's an normal name.
Alex.
Right.
Alex. Rocky, money. I'm Alex.
I'm Alex.
But then,
They're putting
So,
their
like-
thumbs up.
but then
Alex.
Did
Yeah.
you-
also, I lost my train of thought.
No, go back, honey. Roll it back. Roll it back. You got this.
Did you think this was the bling ring when you first
They were
started
watching
watching?
the old man in the
Through
Oh
the
car.
yeah,
window.
thank you. And then her
That's
just
what I'm here for.
talking about the ladybug tattoo.
Yes.
And I'm
Oh.
just like, I get it, because this is right
I
after.
really like that speech.
Oh,
Oh, you didn't?
because when you said hit you in the head a bunch of times, I feel
That
like
kind of
that.
worked.
I
Good.
don't know. It's either for me. It's either that scene or the sister scene for me. I feel like having both of them was
Too
much.
Too much.
too
I
much.
think
Which one would you
I
have cut?
agree with you. Oh, I would have cut the ladybug. No,
Yeah,
because
I would've
ladybug
cut the
pays
ladybug.
off later, though. I
True.
love the payoff.
True.
I think they're okay. I'll tell you
Mhm.
why. Because, and yes, I agree with you. It's
Mhm.
overdone. But at the same time, it's kind of like we have to understand, or we have to get on board with her. We
Yeah.
have to be,
Right.
whatever happens, we need
On
her
her
to
side, yeah.
succeed. We
Yeah.
need her to prevail.
Yeah.
Stealing this poor blind man's money, whatever it is, which we think, poor
Mhm.
guy. We think
Poor-
that for quite a
poor
while
guy.
in the
Yeah.
movie, actually. Which as I was watching the movie, going, this is really rough because this dude did nothing wrong.
Mhm.
Until you get to a certain point in the movie, you go, oh, okay,
Yeah. I wrote it as.
we're all kind of guilty
I
of
wrote it
something.
as villains with good intentions,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
and I
except
agree.
for Money,
Right.
who's just a
Money is
fucking
just a
nut
dick.
ass.
Because that's
Who needs to
that's
die,
the
and
thing,
he does.
That's
Yeah.
the thing too. Because I know some people that said they didn't like that whole twist with Stephen Lang, well, the blind man. That
Why?
he's a bad guy too. Because they said that they think that was they only did that so you can have like not compassion, but you can be like, oh yeah, well these people aren't really bad, you know.
Well, but I mean, he
And-
has a reason for
Well, they
doing
said-
what
well,
he
they-
did.
no, I'm saying-
we can talk about it when we get
Well,
to
I'm
it.
saying,
but
yeah,
he
that's
has
the
a reason.
well. They're saying that's the only reason they think it went to that extreme because they were like, oh, well, if he was like, if they just left that as him being blind and him like fighting back, they'd be like, oh, well, yeah, no, I'm still gonna side with him and I'm gonna, not care that some of these people are dying because they're bad for breaking into the house.
Yeah.
They think it was kind of just like written in there with no real payoff at all, which I completely disagree
What?
with.
It's clearly set up at the beginning of the movie.
I know that. I'm not
so
saying.
your friends who say that,
I said I heard
and
from
I
people.
hope they're not listening to
I
this.
said I heard
they're
from people.
idiots.
I said I heard from people, not anyone I
Hey,
know.
Travis's coworkers. Did you hear
No.
that?
I don't know that you have a movie if you do it like that. Like it's
No.
it's-
That was
it's
my.
not-
That
if
was
you
my.
don't have a movie,
no,
it's
that
not
interest-
interesting
no,
enough.
Frank,
You have
and
no
that's
movie.
and that's my argument because the thing is like I'm already like a fan of this movie and I wanted to see it because I thought the premise itself was really simple. It's like, oh yeah, people break in the house.
In Wait Until Dark, which I talked about earlier, Audrey Hepburn is the blind girl who's being invaded by these burglars. We never shift that attention. It's all about her surviving by using her whatever, turning all the light. Very similar things happen, where she tries to even the,
So it's like You're
the
Next
score.
and this movie combined.
Yeah. So, but it works because
For
you
Audrey
are
Hepburn.
100% on her side to
Yeah.
prevail. This movie doesn't set up like that because this movie from the beginning is presenting it
villains,
from
yeah.
the villain's point of view.
Yeah.
So you have to flip it. Otherwise, it won't work.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to read that out loud. It's not okay to text one thing to another
I was
person.
reading another text message.
And what
Someone
does
just
it say?
texted me hi.
Cool. Did you say hi back?
No, because I'm recording.
Do you know who it is?
Yes.
Why did they say hi?
Why are you so defensive?
Why are you? Like, go on. What were you saying?
Why did they say hi?
I don't know because we haven't talked in a little bit, so they're just saying hi.
So I got some weird friends.
I
man.
think
And we're back.
I think
And we're back.
the setup without the reveal is kind of interesting, but not interesting
Enough.
enough for a whole movie. You
Exactly.
need that flip to make it worth like. I'm sorry, I just don't see a way
No.
to have it work.
I don't think anyone's questioning except for some of Travis's
Yeah.
friends.
I
Nobody
never
else is
said it was-
questioning
I'm
this.
just
But
saying.
you know what? I do appreciate the movie for giving you just enough to side with Rocky, but still keeping the three protagonists as kind of like bad people. Not bad,
Flawed.
flawed. Yeah, flawed. Like there's
Immorally flawed.
there's this bit of moral tension at the beginning
Yeah.
where you kind of want them to succeed, some more than others, but at the same time you're like, this is kind of fucked up.
But also,
Exactly.
yeah, because I think Rocky and Alex were like, well, he's blind though, and
Yeah.
then
And-
Big Bag was like, money.
And since
Money.
they're clearly the protagonists, without that switch, you risk losing, losing that aspect
I
of
agree.
it where you root for one of the protagonists.
Mhm.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I agree.
But that switch, that scene is so good.
So,
Ah,
since we're talking about the Switch,
yes.
why don't we just talk about the Switch?
Let's talk about the switch, Dan.
What is
So,
Danny boy.
they finally figure out. Well, what happens early in the film is once he realizes that I'm talking
Who's
about
he?
the blind guy. What is his name?
The
by
blind
the
The,
way?
man.
the old man.
The blind
No,
man.
it's
Yeah,
just
the
the old
Yeah.
man.
Once he realizes
His name
that
is Daddy.
there are people in his house,
Mhm.
more than one person. He kills money.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. But
Okay.
like the whole entire, I feel we should talk about when the blind man actually came on screen and how that whole scene was so intense or just tense. Like when I think it was Alex that was down the hallway, wanted to double back, and he turned around and the old man was like barreling down the hallway.
And he just
Like,
jumps out of the
right,
way.
like that whole
That was really cool.
that
Ooh.
whole sequence was just the
There were a
beginning
lot of
of like
sequences
tense.
like that
Yeah.
that were really
If
good, though.
if you're listening and you haven't watched the movie, watch it.
I mean, honestly, that whole front end
Yeah.
up until Money gets killed is, and I'm sorry, there and then past that,
hmm
there's a point where before the blind man realizes there's multiple people in the house is crazy.
hmm
It is so well done and very intense. Once he realizes that he's dealing with other
Yeah.
people, it becomes a different kind of movie, which
Yeah.
is still really good. I'm just saying that part, like you're saying, where like when he backs up in the creak of the floor and that whole sequence that takes place after Alex steps back and creak. First of all, that whole house should have been creaking like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact there was one creak in the floor,
That house was falling apart.
the house was falling apart.
That was long. You know what that neighborhood and that house kind of reminded me.
Barbarian.
I made a
yeah, I
note.
was gonna say-
Barbarians.
I was gonna say
I made a
Barbarian.
note, and it was also
Previous
Detroit.
episode.
Yeah.
It was also the same city. It was also Detroit has some really badass old neighborhoods. Let
Yeah.
me tell you. Which
Detroit,
they're-
are you okay?
They're cleaning up.
Do
They're
you need
cleaning them
help?
up, but there's a lot of them, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that reminded me of the same idea.
If any of you listeners are from Detroit, you know you'll have a nice neighborhood.
we love you, but no, that whole I agree with you. That was really.
Were you hooked by that point?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
you're like, I'm in.
What
I
was the
was-
point where you first got hooked?
Mm-hmm.
I think I got really hooked after the setup in the house where he sets off the bomb in the guy's bedroom. Then they find the big lock and they go, well, that's where this money is down that, whatever is
Bomb in
behind
the
this
bedroom?
door. He sets off that smoke thing in the
I'm
bedroom.
not gonna lie, I fell asleep.
That's to put the guy to sleep.
So it worked on Sam.
It worked on me because I
which,
knocked out.
which clearly didn't work, which I have questions about, but that's what it was for.
Blind powers.
And
Plot armor.
I think once he came down and that whole confrontation with Money,
The
and,
blind man.
and killing Money, I don't know, was that a joke? I'm trying to figure out where he was
Because you
going
said
there.
he, so I was like,
And that whole thing, I think that sequence there forward, I was hooked at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Because that's actually where you're, I mean, that's the end of Act 1,
As it should,
right?
yeah.
That's really the end
right.
of Act 1.
So
when
they
that
did their
happens.
job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It sets up very quickly. I mean, it's an hour and, 28 minutes?
it's a very,
and
very
it, and
movie.
it flies, though. How many hour and 28-minute movies have we seen where we go, God, that felt like 3 hours? This movie
Yeah.
flew
Yeah.
by me.
Honestly, when it finished, I was like, wait, that's right, that's it, huh?
So, yeah, that totally
Yeah,
hooked me.
there is not a Don't Breathe 2. The movie just
Well,
ends.
But again,
after.
Don't Breathe is such a great title when you're
Yeah.
watching it, because I found myself not breathing at times. Like, I was like, there's just like, oh my God.
Paralyzed with fear.
I will say it was
so intense.
It was a uncomfortably silent theater.
I
Theater,
can imagine.
A sold out theater where it was just
You can hear a pin drop.
completely silent.
I love when movies can do that to an entire
Yeah, and
audience.
especially like
I think it's absolutely. I can imagine it was because that's
And
how
then-
I felt watching it in my house at 2:30 in the afternoon with the sun shining in my den, and I was still like,
And then there was a
don't
collective.
watch Don't Breathe too, because that's even more intense.
And then there was a collective. Oh
Well, the turkey baster scene,
no! I was just gonna say.
That's where I got hooked.
Oh,
that's really late.
Frank was like, other people do that too.
So the big twist in the movie is that Alex and Rocky figure out the way out of the house is down through the cellar. Because earlier in the movie, they're trying to break in. Money was found the cellar doors and couldn't reach inside because they were locked from the inside. And then they realized, oh crap, we can just go out from there because the lock's on the inside. So they go down into the cellar to get out of the house, which is totally cool. And while they're down in the cellar, we discover something we weren't ready for.
What
What
was
could
it?
be in there?
That's a woman.
Find out next week.
A woman who's tied up and gagged, and chained, and whatever
to
that.
a very colorful.
But why,
corner
Very
Dan?
of the-
lovely,
right?
lovely pillows all over
and
the
then
walls.
some plants
But
too.
why?
Well
Some great
lit,
set
by the
design.
way.
Yeah.
But why?
Say
Because
it,
she
Travis.
was the girl who had been responsible for the death of his daughter.
A hit and run.
A hit and run, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But she got off. But
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
well, she got
Oh.
off.
Oh
but then there was
my.
some kind of civil suit apparently where she got paid out like $300,000 to the
Yeah, because she's from a wealthy family.
right, and he made note of that.
That reveal also for me, I think, switched over the villain and the victim role.
Mm-hmm.
Because now Alex and Rocky, well, to a certain point now, they've been a victim.
Mhm.
But for sure, you know now that the blind man is the villain,
the bad guy.
the
Yeah.
baddie.
Oh,
But
he's
wait.
definitely the baddie.
But what I like also was when I think the mood and the lighting of this movie, like cinematography wise, was amazing because after they realize, oh, this girl's been captured, it cuts to the blind man at the top of the stairs. He opens the door and there's red lighting, and you're like, ah, shit, this guy's a villain.
Yes.
And
Yes,
that's what I loved.
Really good cinematography there.
Mhm.
I also really like the actual reveal there in that room, and it's really dark,
Oh.
and you're like, what?
The whole
And then the
yeah.
light flickers, and like,
It's like
right.
the Saw.
I
It
think
feels
yes.
like you're in like a Saw
Did your
bathroom.
theater, did they jump? Because I think mine jumped as well at that part.
I don't remember.
Wow.
See, that's
Well,
a
that shot would have definitely made you jump for
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
It was too quiet.
too quiet, too breathe.
No.
Too But
Don't breathe.
I also really like that when they're down there and he realizes that they're still in the house, they took the money, and that they're downstairs. You get that shot of him running, and then you hear the footsteps, and they're
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Well, remember when she jumps forward, which is that super free. Also, the bells go off upstairs.
Yeah,
because
and
she's hooked up.
Right,
She's hooked up for.
because it calls back. Because in the beginning, when they're walking through the house, they see the bell, and you don't really know why.
Yeah.
At first, I was because it's just a blind man's
It's
tool.
a blind
It's
bell.
in-
Yeah, but no.
Frank playing Resident Evil 4.
It's a reference,
I
Sam. You
know.
wouldn't get it.
So I guess I jumped the gun on the pregnancy.
What are you talking about?
We find that out later.
Yeah. Wait.
I thought we went back in time.
Sorry,
Go back in time again.
back in time.
So they
Did-
let her go.
Yes.
They're like, "We're not leaving without you. I don't care what you did," which I thought was a really good and interesting line to put in there, because
considering what they've done.
considering what they've done, it also speaks to like the morality of Rocky. It's
Mhm.
like, yes, they're bad people, but at a certain point, or flawed, but there's a clear line between good and bad.
Yeah.
And there's some things that are like bad.
That was actually a very important moment
Bad and badder.
in terms of staying firmly on Rocky's court,
Yeah.
as it were.
But that's also what Alex said, because I think Rocky said you can't call the police. He's like, well, what's worse, us breaking in or this guy kidnapping someone?
Yeah.
Right.
So
But
they
see,
both, yeah.
But see, Alex wanted to leave her there, and he's like, "We'll call the cops," and she's like, "No, we gotta take her now."
Oh, okay.
Meow.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So then they let her go, and they're about to go out the cellar door.
But
What will they find on the other side?
find out
Freedom!
next week.
What do they find, Travis?
A bullet.
But what?
Which
Who
was
pushed
really,
the bullet?
Which was really cool when they shot that, because what
Yeah.
it looked like was
In
it
more
got
ways than
it
one.
looks like it got Alex,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and you thought, oh, Alex is dead.
Bye-bye.
And then he's down the bottom getting up, and she's the girl whose name I don't know.
Well, I think it was
the-
like Beverly or Natalie or something.
Was
I don't know.
shot.
Who cares?
But yeah, when you see her cheek, you're like, oh,
Oh.
you got shot through
It
the
took
cheek.
a second though, because at first I was like, what? Huh?
yeah,
Mhm.
me
And then
too.
you see like the blood kind of like,
Mhm.
yeah,
and you're like, oh.
yeah.
Was it just the cheek that she got shot?
Yeah, I
How
believe
do you
so.
die from that?
Well,
Or is
probably,
it just like
probably through her brain, I guess.
It
I
was
don't
it
know.
was at an angle, so
Oh,
it
so
probably got her
brain-ish?
jugular. I
Got-
feel
oh.
like
okay?
it probably went through her cheek and then out her neck.
We
I'm
I was
assuming.
gonna say we should give it a try.
I don't
then-
volunteer for that.
But then
I will.
he gets Rocky, right? No,
You got rocked.
he got rocked.
Yeah, because then he got knocked out. No. No, he didn't. That's when he turned off the lights.
Yes.
That was one of my favorite scenes. And I do have a question. So a lot of these like thriller, horror, whatever, they use a lot of lights off, night vision.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel? Like at this point, do you think it's overused?
I feel like it can be. I
Mhm.
think it was a really good use of it just because of the setup
Yes.
and the thematic like quality of it, the fact that it actually ties into it, and that they didn't go with that sick green look.
Right,
They
that's
went
what I
with this like
said, yeah.
weird
Yeah,
infrared.
because I was gonna
It
say.
also didn't last that
Yeah,
long.
Yeah.
and
No.
the only other time, and it's funny because you said they used the green look, but the only time that I think the green look works, and the only time I think I really liked it off the top of my head in a movie, other than like with the lights off, was The Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
That's
think that was,
probably
like,
the only
the best look.
Yeah, that's
That's like I think that's where it started, but then a lot of people copied it, and I think it's overused except for this one because
yeah,
again,
because it
there's
ties
no
in.
right.
There's like a use for it.
Because
in
I
the-
feel like it also shows the blind man's world and how he moves
well, that's
through
what.
it.
Doesn't he say something like that too?
No, that's Bane.
Oh, you
But-
were you merely adapted darkness.
Yeah,
I was born in it.
into it. But yeah, like with the way he moved within
You
the
thought
like he was
that
saying.
line was in this movie?
No, I just
No, I'm just kidding. But the way he like was tapping the ceiling and all that stuff, you're like, oh yeah, this is his world.
Welcome
'Cause
to
he's
my
blind.
world.
He got around really well
Yeah.
in his world.
And a close up
Got
of
really
when
well round outside of that house too.
yeah,
Really found her. I
Right.
mean, we'll get there.
Your
But
senses
also-
are heightened.
Oh my
that
gosh.
scene of when he
this
was
guy traveled
choking-
well for a guy who couldn't
when he was
see.
choking Alex and it's like close up of his face, that was scary.
Oh yeah.
Didn't he? I think he too. He wore like, I think too, because of like the look, those like contact lenses.
Yeah,
That I think Stephen Lang actually wore. Well, I mean, he of course he wore 'em. I think too. I could be wrong in it, but I think there was something on him that like kind of made it hard for him to see.
yeah,
Like that was intentional. Like he did that
Mhm.
as well.
yeah.
And that's all I've got to say about that.
And I read somewhere too that the
Thank you,
actors
Forrest Gump.
wore contact lenses to make it look like their pupils were dilated.
Oh, that's cool.
That also obstructed their views.
Yeah.
Just for that scene.
They should have called it "Don't
I
See."
believe they also shot that scene in the dark, like completely.
Yeah.
Like they used specific cameras to.
Like infrared kind of
Oh,
cameras.
Yeah.
you know what's funny?
Not
I was gonna
you.
think another movie that's in darkness too, but they used it.
Near
I think
Dark.
it's the last one. No, I was gonna say was
Near
You're
Dark.
Next. Remember, it was the dark, but she was using
The flashlight.
the
The
flashes,
camera.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
That episode will be out soon.
It's next. But
it really?
no.
There was a place in the. I'm sorry, Frank. Were you
No,
gonna say
go
something?
for it. You.
There was a place in the middle of the movie. I wish I had made a note. All I noted was I had to stop the movie. I had to stop in the middle of the movie and take a break. I don't
take a
remember
breath?
where- I don't remember where it was,
Aw.
but there was a point where I went, I gotta stop.
Was it
for a
just
minute.
too much?
Too
It was
intense.
just,
Was
yeah,
it when he
it
announced
was
that he
just too much.
impregnates women?
No, because I have that later in my notes.
No, he
Oh.
thought that was hilarious.
It was probably somewhere like maybe when they turned out the lights. I don't know. There was a point where I went, you know what? I need to stop the movie for a second. Maybe move some laundry to the dryer. You know, I took literally like a 2-minute kind of walk away.
Was this your first movie?
And
That
all I thought to myself was, there's no way I would have wanted to watch this movie in a theater.
it's hard to watch.
No way. That would
Yeah.
have been way too much for me. honestly.
But this is the first movie you've done that, right? With our
Oh
our
yeah.
podcast.
Oh, where I just went. This
Yeah.
is too much. Yeah.
Too intense.
Yeah. I mean, I'll get to my thoughts at the end, but it wasn't a bad thing.
Right.
It wasn't that I didn't want to go back to it. It was
Yeah.
just that I needed to just stop it for a
Yeah.
second.
You need
and
to
just
breathe.
Yeah, just breathe for a second. I had something I needed to do. Not
Mhm.
really, but I did anyway.
Yeah.
And then I just, a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And then I sat back down, turned it on, and went right back into it.
That's interesting. To sidetrack, do you guys have any movies that you guys need to take a break from? I have one.
Off the top, go because I gotta
Okay.
think.
For me, it was this foreign Danish movie called Speak No Evil. Because at a certain point, you knew exactly what was going to happen. I'm like, I can't right now. Let me just stop.
I totally get it.
Yeah, and I took like a week off from that movie.
Oh, you took a week.
It was.
I'll come back next Monday.
Yeah, it was tense.
I'm trying to
I hear you. I get it.
There's not a specific movie, but there was a point like in 2007 where I had watched so many horror movies back to back that I needed to take a big break. So I took like a 2-year break.
Oh wow!
From
2
watching like
years?
horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just getting to the point where it was like really intense.
Yeah, I
and
get that.
It wasn't a personal like. I would say that it was more of like I had questions about whether it was affecting my my mental health.
Yeah, I
And
get
I was
that
like, you
a
know
lot.
what? I'm gonna take a little bit of a break.
Mm-hmm.
And then he met me, and it all went downhill.
Yeah. Yeah,
And that was
actually,
a horror
yeah,
movie in and of
it's
itself.
it's about the same distance because 2007, 2009 is when we first met, or 2010.
No, 2009.
2009, yeah.
I will tell you that we mentioned this movie earlier. That's why I'm bringing it up. I saw Silence of the Lambs in the theater on the opening weekend. I will say that was a movie that I probably would have taken a break from in the middle if I could have, but I was in the theater, so I just had to keep
Can't
watching
just get
it.
up and leave. Yeah.
And I got through it, but it was intense.
Yeah.
But in a different way. That was more psychological. This movie was not psychological, but that was very psychological. And I thought it was great, but
There is one movie
There is
where I
another.
did have to take a break.
Chopping Mall.
Avatar.
No, but it's not a horror movie at all.
Oh,
The Holiday.
Someone one time
this is gonna be
told
funny.
me that I'm not trying to do a bit.
The funny's coming.
No, I'm not trying to.
Get
trying
ready,
to do a bit.
folks.
This is a-
Punchline.
it's
Here we
No,
go.
it's not.
Here
Drum
comes
roll,
the
please.
funny.
So one
Okay.
time, I will say, like you all know, I've watched some stupid movies.
Ernst
You don't need a
Goes on
preface. We know
vacation.
you.
I know, but someone, and even this movie, when I saw the trailers from it, I was like, there is no way I'm watching this movie. Was The Love Guru.
Oh God.
And someone told me one time, they were like, oh no,
I don't
come
blame
on.
you.
They were like, oh no, come on, just watch it. I'm like, I am not. They're like, it's pretty funny. So I remember having that movie on, and there was a certain point in the movie I couldn't even take a break to like turn it off. I literally
Oh, you
just
told
had
me
to get up, and I walked out of the room and
You
closed the door.
You escaped
Is that
it.
Mike Myers?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Justin
That movie
Timberlake.
killed his career.
Yeah, because he wasn't really
He
anything
had,
else.
he did like Inglorious Bastards,
But,
the
like, yeah, as the
cameo.
Hitler,
but
right.
other than that, like
As who?
he wasn't Hitler.
He wasn't Hitler?
No, he
Who
was
was-
he
no,
was
he
a
was-
general.
Oh, okay.
He had an English accent.
Yeah, he was the British general.
Oh, sorry.
He literally hasn't started like I think he produced
'Cause he
not
was-
he directed a documentary
Right.
like a music, but no, it killed his career. But as far as I mean, I don't know, Sam, if I'd call this a horror movie, but as far as movies where you're having to take a break, I remember there's one movie where physically I did not have to take a break. I couldn't walk out. I couldn't get up. I couldn't do it. My mind literally just stopped.
Working.
Well, I'd say
Your mind
figuratively.
was telling you no?
Figuratively.
But your heart said yes.
Figuratively, my mind just like turned off, and I couldn't process what was going on screen. Even though I was staring right at it, looking was Solo.
Oh, I
Sorry.
thought you were gonna say Tusk.
No, because we saw that Sam and I saw that in the theater, and that
It
was
wasn't
my
just us two. Jen was there.
Yeah, I know. It was our I'd never seen the movie. I didn't know much about. I didn't know what it was.
You know,
Oh,
you know how you got there? Just me saying, "Hey, I'll pay for your tickets."
Yeah, and then
Hey, a free movie's a free movie.
Exactly.
and then I was like, someone wants to hang out with me.
I would love to have some
No.
Salo.
Oh, Kalita is I just remember like midpoint in that movie, like I was wide awake because it was a midnight show.
I'm wide awake.
I know, and my mind had to take a break. Like it checked out. I was like, things were happening on screen, and I couldn't tell you what happened. There's a big chunk of that movie. I don't know what happened.
Dan, I'm gonna
I'm sure
gonna
there's
describe
chunks
this
in
movie
that
to
movie.
you.
Oh.
Ew. So this
Do
movie,
it.
really quick, is about aristocrats who kidnap teens from the poor province, and then they do really, really bad stuff to them. Like, there's no rule within this castle, and whatever they could think of sexually, with no like boundaries, they'll do it to them. And then they have these two women who work in the, I won't say prostitution, but they're sex workers in their previous career, would retell their own stories, and they have like story time. So whenever these aristocrats want to do something, when they're enticed, they'll do it to them. And they're broken down into 3 parts. I forgot the first one. The second one was about shitting.
Don't
I-
ever watch this
I
movie,
wish
Dan.
you can all
Why
see
did
Dan's
anybody
face.
see this movie?
It's one of the here's
It's
the thing.
not a bad film.
It's well done, but it's the only
So?
movie. It is the only movie that made me physically gag.
And question your decision as a film.
Yeah, and I'm like, why do I do this to
Yeah, and-
myself?
and
It's
Dan,
actually it's
But
based
I've
off a
seen it.
book.
I've seen it twice.
And Dan, it's also too. It's in the Criterion Collection.
Yeah, that's how I have it in
Yeah.
Criterion.
Culturally significant,
Yeah.
but also
And it's like I said, Dan. Now, do you believe why I said when I was watching the movie, my mind just turned off and wouldn't process what was going on screen?
Dan, what's in this movie is like nothing compared to the book. So the book was written by a guy named Marquis de Sade. Think
I
of
know Marquis de Sade.
yeah, you do.
The Marquis de Sade?
Yes, the Marquis de Sade wrote Salo. It's
I couldn't finish the book.
yes.
Well, I think
I finished it twice,
Fuck.
and then the book too.
Ho!
Okay, I can have this. I don't remember it was the film or the book, but I think it was
a
at some
play.
point. I think the reason why
Imagine
it
a
was.
play.
I think the reason too why it was made too was there were certain things where it's like I think like there was no at the time when it film came out like there was something weird with like copyright, so like this filmmaker was making movies and people were just ripping them off and remaking. So he was like, you know what, I want to make and do this movie where
So
no
no
one
one
can
wants to do it?
possibly steal it.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
And this is not a challenge. I'm actually really curious.
He's gonna take it as a challenge.
Why?
In this thought you just processed with us, that you shared, you said film and you
Film.
said movie. Now, in my opinion, there's a difference between the two.
There is.
But you used both terms on this project.
I realized that I
Is
do.
it a film or is it a movie?
Oh, it's a film.
And you know what I'm saying.
No, it's like I would say
What
film.
would your definition between the two be? Maybe I think it would be the same as mine.
Avengers is a film, while Salo
Okay.
is just a movie.
I would say Avengers is a movie.
At best.
Okay,
it's-
Martin Scorsese.
I would say
Avengers
that's
is
a movie.
content,
I would
okay?
say that's a movie. A film to me is considered more of a highbrow.
Like a highbrow.
Well,
thing.
this one's high as fuck.
Avengers
Like
is
Salo.
not a film. Not a movie. It's not a film. It's a movie.
Salo's a film.
Film.
That might be true.
I feel like-
I'm asking because
Well, but then again, some people can say they'll be like, "Oh, well, no, that's not a film because it was not shot on film."
I
Well,
don't see it that
that's-
way.
That's another.
that I understand, but that's not how I'm. That's not what I
Yeah,
mean.
I sometimes use them, like you said, mid
That
sentence.
was interchangeable. What you just did.
That's what I noticed. That's one of my habits. I do that a lot. I use those two interchangeably.
And that wasn't to challenge you or to say
You
you're wrong
do that.
or right.
Do.
But I do think we probably agree, like it or not, Citizen Kane is a film.
There's movies and
You know what I mean? That's a
films.
film. Gone with the Wind is a movie.
Yeah.
So Dan, anything that we've covered
It's
on
epic, but it's
Yeah.
a movie.
There's
other-
films and films.
other than
Well,
select
What's a film?
Yes.
film.
So other than select
Film.
titles
Defoe.
on other than select titles on this podcast, you would say most of the things we cover are
Movies. For
Movies?
sure. Absolutely.
well, we are a movie podcast, not a
Film.
film.
well. How do you
podcast.
feel into when they say we're going to go
But
to the
please
movie
welcome
theater?
our new podcast.
I
Film.
say theater.
the
but
podcast.
That's
Oh
okay.
no, you don't. You do not say movie theater.
I'm not a snob, so I'm okay if you say
Really? 'Cause you
movies.
s- yeah.
Honestly. No, but I heard you. Only reason I called you out was not, was because you
Ooh.
said film and movie within the same.
we please go back to
sentence
talking
of this story you were telling
Can
me?
we please
and
go
I
back-
think
oh.
there's a difference, and you called them both. You called it both things.
Can we go back to talking about Don't Breathe, please?
Is that what
The
we saw?
film or the
The
movie?
film.
Oh, tune in next week when we find
God,
out.
why don't you? I'll see you next week. Bye.
So where are we at here?
What
Are
about
we
next
at a-
Tuesday?
now,
are
now
we-
you can do the big reveal.
Okay.
Do you think it's big? The reveal?
Why don't you?
I
Why
don't
don't
know.
you? Why don't you? Why don't you lead me a little bit so I
Because I'm a
know?
woman.
Ooh.
Lead me on,
Ew.
please, a little
Ew.
bit.
Where
Where are you at with the big reveal? I thought I already blew the big reveal.
No,
Ah.
you. It's
Wow.
it's the
Travis?
other. It's part B. It's
Oh,
Plan B?
so, I don't
Lack
remember
of.
all the details of how. I know Alex gets killed like 3 times. I swear the guy got killed 3 times in this movie.
Yeah.
We thought he was dead twice, and then he finally was dead. Like,
Or
can you
is
explain to
he?
me when he picked up the what do you call this?
Shears? The garden
shears and
shears?
stabbed
Well,
him.
you-
I
you-
thought
you
that
know-
was in Alex's
you-
chest. Then
Yeah.
later it was like not in
it
his
was
chest.
money.
You know when
It was
you're
on money.
What?
He did it to money.
Your dad is
That was
when
money's body.
So why did he do that?
To
Oh,
trick
because
us.
he was blind. Oh, right. He can't see.
Your-
Damn.
your
That's what
da-
blind means.
your dad.
I think you and I have a
I would have
different.
loved to have known that.
We have different definitions of blind.
Your
There's
dad.
blind and there's can't, see. Thank you. I'm leaving.
Join us
And
next
Drop
week.
the mic and walk away,
Bye
Sam.
bye.
Okay, so he stabbed the wrong dude who was already dead. But we didn't know that at the
Yeah.
time. Okay, so Alex literally gets killed like 3 times till he finally actually gets killed. So
For real
Anyway.
this time.
Realsies.
he's not dead yet,
Mhm.
but
We think he's dead.
blind guy captures Rocky, and we wake up and Rocky's all strapped up in the same bed the other girl was in.
Mm-hmm.
And Rocky then, and I have a note here. Here's exactly what I said as this unfolded.
Ouch.
I said, okay, whoa, this is getting weird.
And this is before the turkey baster?
This is when I saw him heating up his frozen, clearly, sperm. Now, I have a couple of thoughts about this.
Mm-hmm.
First of all,
Tell us.
this is a very scientific thing that doctors have figured out. I don't think a turkey baster and heating up your sperm and necessarily impregnate a girl who may or may not be ovulating. Okay, we've done all the science here, okay?
Mhm.
So putting all the science aside, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that was freaking crazy.
Can I tell my
Takes some scissors and cuts up her panties.
Can I tell my story now?
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh my.
Oh my. So first time watching it, I was watching it with my best friend. Coincidentally, her name's Alex.
Of course.
And then we were all dreading what was gonna happen, and then we saw the sperm like that. That's not it. What are you doing with that?
It's hair gel.
Yeah, and then when
It's
his
custard.
yeah, I was like, and then when his hand
Something about-
hand was hovering above the scissors of the turkey baster, we're like, get the scissors. I don't know what you're doing. Grabs the turkey baster. The whole crowd now is quiet. He gets his collection right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Are you saying you didn't know what was going on?
I knew, but didn't
You were
want
down-
it to
you were
happen.
down-
Yeah. I got you.
So
You thought
now-
the movie wouldn't go there.
Yeah, but it went, and it came.
A lot of things came.
A lot of
Together.
things came. So when he was cutting up the things, the whole theater was like, "No, don't do that." And I'm just gonna
Oh,
jump.
no, you did not.
Nope. And I'm just gonna jump a little bit here.
Go for it.
So fast forward, the girl Alex is actually not dead. Comes down in the basement, cuts the girl loose, fights the dude, cuffs him, and then the girl was beating him.
Mm-hmm.
Grabs the turkey baster, shoves it in his mouth, and then she says, "How does that taste like?" My friend Alex goes, "Salty," and she said it
That's
a lot
hilarious.
louder than she thought, so the whole entire theater heard,
And
they
laughed.
all laughed.
Of
So
course,
it's
that's
a nice-
hilarious.
It's a nice little icebreaker.
That's hilarious.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cum breaker. Cum breaker out of her chains is what I meant.
I have to say that
Semen.
That scene.
Mm-hmm.
Not the whole scene. The lead up where he's cooking it and cutting her open and getting ready to do it. That was me, like, you know, like one eye open, one eye closed, and you're leaning way back in your
Yeah.
chair, like thinking somehow that makes it different.
Yeah.
That's where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when Alex came in and the whole beat down and she shoved the turkey baster in his mouth, that kind of took me out of the movie.
Really?
It
Did it feel like a
only because I went, what? I mean, that was
Out of
crazy ass over the
everything?
top.
Did
that
it
was
feel like
way
a
over the
like a
top.
telegraph, like oh, here comes the yay moment kind of thing?
It felt very
Yeah.
like cheering moment.
Yeah.
Like, the
Yeah.
audience was going, yeah! Like, when Roy Scheider gets the bullet off in the mouth of the shark and blows the shark up.
Roy
Honestly,
Scheider?
yeah!
Roy Shatner,
Wasn't Roy Scheider?
Schneider.
I don't know. I'm just.
You,
You know,
don't know that
I
the
didn't see it that
character
way.
is Roy Scheider who plays the lead
That's a
in
yay
Jaws?
moment.
All right, let's continue.
No, I
Really?
didn't.
I'm
I didn't see it as a
ashamed.
yay moment. So like when
Really?
the scene started, I was leaning in. I was like, where do I sign up? But then,
Oh, jeez.
Whoa.
but then,
To receive or to no.
Both.
No.
It was
No.
it was a moment of
Not
it
with
was
a
a
turkey
moment of
baster.
absolute victory. It was a victorious moment.
I didn't read it as that. I read it as like
totally that's how it played to me.
I read it as like a
Jealousy.
What?
a role reversal kind of thing. I didn't see it as like a they're gonna make it. Like it's. I just saw it as another flip in the dynamic. I
Oh
didn't.
no, no,
I didn't
no,
see
no,
it.
no, no,
Oh,
no,
I didn't
no.
I
see it
didn't-
that
I
way.
didn't
You're
read
wrong.
that.
No.
First
Now,
time
I will
in-
tell you you're right because I knew the time-wise we weren't there, so there was no way that was the moment. But that was totally supposed to be a victorious moment. It was a victorious moment regardless of whether it was the moment or
right.
not.
She's free and she's inflicting pain on the guy
and
at
quite
this
frankly,
point.
there was no moment bigger than that moment in the rest of the movie, honestly. I mean, if we jump to and we'll get there to the end, that wasn't bigger than that moment. I mean, shoving that thing in his mouth and squirting it off in his mouth, that you can't really top that, honestly.
No.
The
But you
choice.
could
But I
try.
also wrote, this is getting so weird.
Oh, I thought you were
wrote
gonna
it
say this
twice.
is getting salty.
I love that.
She's salty.
Salty.
She's like salty. Like okay,
So here's my question.
it
We-
can't happen.
We chain the guy up. They go upstairs.
How did he get loose?
How did he get loose? I'm okay. I'll accept it because I need this to keep moving forward, and I understand it has to happen. But how did it happen?
They didn't
Frank?
address it
Tell
in the
me,
movie,
Frank.
but I have to assume that
You
he
couldn't
had a
see-
spare set of keys on him. Like,
Or the way they cuffed
why
him
wouldn't
was
he?
there's a lot of ways it could have gone wrong.
But yeah,
But I didn't-
watching it this time, I don't think I questioned it the first time because I was just so into it. And again, it's one of those things where you rewatch something with a critical eye, and now you're like, question.
Well, I'd never seen
why,
it before.
why?
I was just.
Yeah,
I
but
knew he was
you're-
going to be loose. I knew this was not the end for them.
But you're watching.
But then I went.
You're watching to not just to watch the movie and get immersed, right? You're also watching it with an eye for the craft of it,
Conversation,
right? Yeah.
Well, I also know I'm going to be talking about it.
Exactly. And I think that
I would have liked something.
So
I would have liked something. 'Cause
Dan.
I don't think it was such a crazy reveal that he came up there because we
No.
knew he was going to. So I would have been okay to see how he got out of it. That would have been okay with
Yeah.
me.
So you're saying, Dan, when you watch movies, you always take notes even when you're watching.
I've always got my notes out when I'm in the theater, no matter
Yeah.
what. Joni's like, "Turn your flashlight off. What
No,
are
it's
you
a
doing?"
memo pad.
You have your pipe. You have your pipe. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
Your memo pad.
Oh, let me
He's
write
like
this down.
sharpening his pencil.
you have your quiver.
No, it's not one of those. It's the electric ones that you plug in.
Oh my god! You plug it in.
Oh.
So that was. I mean, again,
We should do that as like a short.
I
That'd
was
be funny.
okay.
Shorts.
It is actually a
Shorts.
very funny idea for sure.
Journalist goes to the
Watching
movie.
one of the movies. No, watching one of the movies.
Yeah.
I was okay that he got away.
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie, you just accept a lot of these things that are happening because we just have to keep moving forward through this crazy ass
Yeah.
Journey.
thriller that we're in.
Yeah.
But I remember when they left him down there thinking, well, he's not.
It's not over.
Unless he's dead, this is not over. And
No.
he ain't dead.
Nope.
And they also had that opening scene, so
Yeah.
you knew it was
Where
going to go
he's
on
dragging
further.
her down this. Of course, I thought she was dead, obviously, at the opening. but-
really like that they used just that quick shot of that potential ending. We don't know it yet, in the beginning. I like that because you're kind of like wondering. For me, I'm already hooked. Like, who's that girl? Why is she getting
I
dragged?
100% agree
Yeah.
with you.
What did she do to
100%
deserve
agree with
it?
you.
Mm-hmm. What does she do now?
There's a movie called Sunset Boulevard. I
Yes.
don't know.
That's me. I was thinking that's the line from the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Here
that's
goes
me.
Travis.
So
He's
at
seen
the
it
opening,
before.
at the opening,
That said the line of the movie.
very first shot in Sunset Boulevard, we see William Holden as the character, as the actor, and he's floating in a pool face down, dead. And his voiceover says, "Yeah, that's me."
And that's
You
why I
said
said
yeah.
And
yeah.
that's the opening
yes.
shot
And
of
then
the
I
movie.
correct.
So you
You're
know
probably
you're going to
wondering.
get back there at some point. And then
Yeah.
it goes through his whole journey.
Gotcha.
I love that. So I was totally cool with that first shot of her dragging. I even made a note about it. There's nothing like
Same.
watching a body being dragged up a street as you're opening.
It's,
Shan,
yeah,
what have
it's-
we done to you?
It's like
I mean,
a s-
it was really a great way to.
it's the
great
most
first shot.
simplest shot, but it was the most effective too.
And
Yeah.
you're hooked
Mm-hmm.
because you want to know how did we get
Yeah.
to this point.
Okay, really quick. If this was again the first shot, but it's a horrible movie, would you sit through it, wondering how that's connected? I would.
Well, I would because I knew I'd have to talk about it on podcasts.
If it wasn't a podcasting,
You wouldn't watch it.
Would you finish the movie?
yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I
'Cause
get
you're
what you're
wondering
saying.
why-
I
yeah.
get what you're saying. You want to know at least how this happened. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just a nosy bitch, you know.
It's true, you are.
Okay.
So
Yeah, at this point, it
it gets
Doesn't
this
stop.
This is the crazy third act, crazy ass.
this is where you don't breathe because you're just
Yeah,
tired.
This is now. You can't breathe anymore.
No.
This is now. He does get killed.
Mm-hmm.
She fires off the alarm, which I'm not 100%
'cause
sure
she-
why that made him so. I couldn't.
Daredevil
Oh
rules.
my god, I can't handle
Because
the
the
this.
senses
sensitive,
are
yeah.
because the senses are heightened.
Are heightened, yeah.
But wait,
Mm.
because before this, she got out, so you got that glimpse of freedom. She did it.
She did. I thought she got out
Yeah,
after
she-
that.
No.
She got out before,
And
then
then
he,
the dog.
the dog.
And
He's
then
the
she went to
dog.
the
Speaking,
she's the dog.
but that
wait a
scene.
minute. You're
oh.
talking about she got all the way to the car, the dog, and then back into
Yeah,
this?
because
Yeah.
she captured the dog in the car, gets out,
That was a
then
cool
the
scene,
guy
by the
Yeah.
way.
comes back.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was
I
gonna.
was I forgot.
And that
I,
guy really traveled well out of his house all the way to
Yeah.
her car.
It's not like he's
How did he
blind.
know where her
I-
car was?
Oh.
That was a little far-fetched for me.
There's
that he
a-
found her car.
There's a reveal in Don't Breathe 2. Just wait.
No way.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna
I
say.
can wait because I won't watch it.
But
Wait a minute. So I'm totally confused. So Alice gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
How did she get out of the house then? I thought that was the alarm thing that got her out.
no. She got dragged back in, and then she did the alarm.
Oh, no, how did she get out of the house after Alex got
I
killed?
don't remember,
Because
but she got out of the house.
Alex gets killed right at the front door, right when they're
Oh,
about
yeah.
to leave.
He got
and so
shot.
While Alex is dead, she runs out.
Right.
And then she turns and says something to him and goes running. Then the dog chases her.
Yeah.
Yes.
They made the whole dog in the car scene, which was really
Yeah,
well
'cause
done.
I
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
gonna
really good.
say.
really, really
I-
well
For
done.
me, I'm sorry, really quick. For me, I'm like the one thing that got me really tense. Like, just don't kill the dog, because I don't like when they kill dogs.
I agree with you.
And I agree.
And the dog didn't do anything wrong.
I-
Dog's just being a dog, man.
Yeah,
I,
it's
Dog was
the
doing his
owner's
job.
fault.
Dog's dogging.
I remember watching
The
that,
dog
and that
me.
scene really stuck out to me too because the way she trapped the dog with the seats where she flew, I was like, that is so smart. And I was like, I've never seen that. I was like, okay, cool. Like that's how
Well,
she.
that was a lot of shit going down to make that happen.
That's what I'm
I gotta
saying.
tell
Also,
you.
it's-
It
remember-
makes sense, but that's a
But
lot
that's the
of
thing.
shit
It's like,
going
and I've
down.
never seen that like in a movie
Yeah.
before, like them escaping. Like, and I'm like, oh.
But also that refers back to the episode where we haven't released yet. But like, suddenly knowing how to do something with no background for me, that's what would take me out. Like in Your Next, you know she's gone in that camp, whatever, she was younger, so she knows all these things. But with her, it's like, how did you know that? If I was in a panic mode, I couldn't even put the two together.
I agree with you.
I was just like, you know what, dog, just take me
It
out.
didn't bother me, but now that you're saying that, yeah, how does she know how to do that crap?
Right? Women.
Street smarts.
Okay, sure, whatever. So then she gets, shockingly, the blind guy finds her several yards away from the house, has no idea where that car is. I guess the dog barking.
I was
guess
gonna
that's
say.
all we got to go with.
Just commotion.
So drags her back to the house. Then we cuts back up to the opening shot where he's dragging her. We go back into the house, and then what? Frank,
That's when the
Sam,
alarm-
Travis.
The alarm.
The alarm scene
alarm.
happens there.
But what happens to trigger that?
She was able to grab the thing because it was on Alex, right? I mean, yeah.
yes.
So she
So
grabbed
she
it and then
fires
bloop.
it off. The alarm goes off, which of course is tripping off the police, which I really actually didn't even think of till after I heard the sirens, but whatever. And then what happens?
She shot him, or she pushed
No.
him down
He gets
the
away.
stairs.
She does.
No, she shot him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then he fell down into the basement.
Yeah.
And and then what I wrote was that the scene of her looking down reminds me of very much like Final Girl. Because it was like, yeah, I survived.
You know, though, that was not the original ending.
No, we didn't. Travis, tell us.
The original
The way he
ending.
presented it, you know,
no,
I love how he does that.
You know,
that
though.
wasn't
okay,
the
I'm not
original
gonna share.
ending.
I'm just
Thank
gonna
God.
say. I was just like,
What if we'd all said, yeah, we know. We don't
Yeah,
talk
and
about
then
I
it.
we just
wasn't
say
saying
it.
it like that. No, for me, it wasn't a. Did you all know? It was just me. Like, oh, like this is a good time to bring this up.
Yeah, it is. Tell us.
So
Honestly.
in the original ending, how they were gonna do it was, so they kept in the part where the alarm gets tripped, right? But she's still tied, and she doesn't get out. But the blind guy escapes, and when the police are searching the house, they don't find her downstairs, so she gets
Ooh.
left in the house, and basically the whole
I
thing is
don't-
like, oh, she dies
A
because
part of me likes that.
yeah.
Oh, there's no part of me that likes that.
The sallow part?
Zero
The
part of
sallow
me
part
likes
of
that.
me is like, I would love that, but also I'm just like, I'm glad they didn't go with that.
Let me
That was
tell
the
you,
original
if you were a
ending.
studio executive, you would be making a really bad decision for that to
Thank
be
God
the
I'm
end of the
not
movie.
then.
I thought what was going to happen, hearkening back to your next, was she's going to walk out of the house and the police are going to shoot her.
Yeah.
And she's going to be dead. They'd all be dead. Thank God that did
That's
not
what
happen.
I thought happened to Alex, because before it revealed that it was a blind guy, I thought it was the police that shot him.
Oh, that's
and then quickly
interesting.
it was like, nope, the blind man.
The blind man.
So
The blind.
she gets
blind
away.
guy.
The blind
She
daddy.
grabs the cash, runs out of the house, runs across the street. A cop shows up, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
That there's not a bunch of cops showing
Missed her
up.
by
but
a hair.
cop shows up. And then we cut to a train station. Really, we're not flying. We're taking
With
a
your
train.
3,000K.
Really, you're taking a
3,000 K.
train. And where are we? Detroit. Detroit has an airport.
300K.
Detroit has an airport, by the way. I've been there, so they could be flying. It was very weird. Taking a train to LA, whatever. And then I did kind of like, it was so, okay, sequel, that she walks up to the TV and sees that he's not dead. I just, for me, it was like, sequel. Okay.
I actually really,
We're just setting up another movie. That's all we're doing.
I really like that sequence though, because if it's any other movie, I think the way they would have cut it was girl and sister walk off into the sunset, and then it's revealed that the guy's still alive. But the fact that they presented it to Alec or to Rocky,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
She's-
Better reveal that she
right.
saw it.
because she's now in this like fuck.
Yeah. No,
But
no.
also
I
walking
agree
off,
with you.
there's no music. It's just silence and just her walking through the crowd. I'm like, that's good because you feel it.
Or it's like 6 months later, and she's somewhere else,
Yeah.
and he suddenly shows up.
Yeah, blind, just with a
Didn't
gun.
see this coming. Yeah, I agree, but that's the thing. It's like, Dan, it's like, I agree. Like, I think, yeah, it's sequel setup, but I like the way it was executed
Yeah.
as a potential follow-up. Because it's like, yeah, it is, but at the same time, it's like, oh, it's still there.
Yeah.
Doesn't?
I honestly don't remember anything of Don't Breathe 2. Is it
Oh,
a
you
prequel?
watched it?
It's a sequel. Yeah.
You watched it?
No, but I remember the trailer, and I was like, this.
Yeah, because it was after COVID.
Yes, it was
I think
actually.
it was like my first movie back.
Oh, it was? I didn't
Like
even
right
realize.
after
Yeah,
COVID.
2021. We actually, when I went to Texas with my husband, it's the one movie we saw over there. Yeah,
I'm
we were
sorry.
eh.
Because I read
I
somewhere.
I didn't want to see it.
There was something.
It's because I didn't like. So since we're not going to cover it, Dan, the sequel. Actually,
tell us the plot.
the blind man is the protagonist in the sequel.
Yes.
So what happens is he
Like
befriends.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2.
Is
Kinda. So he befriends like this young girl who's I think she's an orphan, or she's presented as an orphan.
Yeah.
And one day she is I believe she's a neighbor's like adopted daughter or something. I don't remember the details,
Me
but
neither.
he's taking care of her. And while
Where
he's
are they? In Detroit?
no,
no,
it's
they're in like the woods,
it-
What? I don't remember this.
You saw it?
Oh
Like-
no,
Yeah, I
no,
don't
it
remember it,
is
yeah.
it is actually in Detroit still. So he takes care of her, and one night while he's taking care of her, this group of people attack his house and steal her, and basically are like, "Oh, you don't know what he's done," blah blah blah. So he goes after them, turns out that
Same actor.
Yeah.
yes.
Stephen Lang.
So it turns out that the girl's family, who she thought had died in a fire, they're actually alive. They're these terrible junkies that are like, come home, it's time to come home to us. But really, they want the daughter because the mother's dying and she needs a transplant, and they're planning on using the daughter to give her like a heart transplant or something. It's some.
So the sequel is like a totally different
is.
movie.
Totally
like
different
you didn't need
setup.
it to be a sequel. This could have
Yeah,
just been
it
another
It could have been
movie.
its own movie.
Exactly, but
But you need that connection because it made
That's
money.
how they said. It was probably like a repurposed script.
it probably
Exactly.
was. I didn't like the idea of having a sequel frame somebody like the blind man as a protagonist, just because the stuff that he had done before is stuff that I don't think like
You can't come back from
you
that.
can't really come back from it. But I think,
He said he was sorry.
but it actually ended up handling it pretty decently. Like, he doesn't get redemption. He tries to, but the movie denies him the redemption. And he does.
Again, we're not going to watch this.
No, we're not
movie.
going to watch it, but it didn't end up being as bad as I thought it was going
Did
to
you
be.
see it, Travis?
Hell no.
He did not.
Hell no.
The action was good, though. And it still, it held that tension that the first one did.
Was it more gruesome than this one?
I don't think so. I think there was an eye gouging,
This
so like
wasn't
kind
that
of.
gruesome. I didn't think.
And which is
Did you think this movie was really
No, and
gruesome? I
it's
thought
fu-
it was more, just way more intense.
Well,
and
and
just
that's
sort of
and
yes,
that's
thriller.
the, and
Like-
that's what's interesting about it too. It's like the director went from directing Evil Dead, where you have just buckets of blood all over the place. Then this next movie, it's like there's not like a ton of blood at all.
It's
You're
because
going
he did it as
intentionally, right?
Yeah, it was a response to the criticisms he got from Evil Dead.
Yes. So speaking of criticisms, Dan, what are your final thoughts?
He
on
loved
Do
it.
I start?
Yes.
We'll always
Really?
do.
I like being the wrap up guy.
Yes.
Okay, so here's what I'll do it. Man, you're gonna regret me doing it first.
Regret.
Okay,
me.
then.
You're gonna
You want me to
regret.
go?
No, I'm good to go. So I'm gonna read what I wrote. Actually,
Read what you wrote.
very intense.
That's it.
I'm exhausted.
Can I
thought it
breathe
was
now?
very well done. I'm really glad I did not see it in a theater, as I mentioned earlier. It would have been way too much for me to watch in a theater. I mean, I guess I would have gotten through it, but I'm wondering though if I would have just gone to shutdown mode. Like, you know, when it gets so intense, you just kind of go, okay, I'm shutting down. It's no longer intense because I'm not engaged anymore. I'm wondering if that might have happened. Watching it at home and getting to walk away for a minute and then go back, I think re-engaged me again into the movie. I thought it was very intense. It did get a little weird, honestly, when it got to the I'm going to inseminate you
The cum baster.
so I can have my daughter that I need. That was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Do I wish it was something else? No, not really.
Yeah, I don't even want to entertain the thought.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
that it needed to be something different. I just thought that was so
That
frickin'.
wasn't it.
It was so freaking weird. Yeah, that maybe wasn't it. I also thought he was way more menacing before he started talking. Honestly, once he had dialogue, he was way less threatening to me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you have really stupid dialogue. And I don't mean stupid like he's not a bad actor. I don't mean that. But it was just like,
Why talk?
you're so much cooler. Like, why did he need to talk? Why don't we just see him doing that? Heating up the thing.
Wait,
doing the baster. Like, why don't we just go, fuck?
Hold on. Do you think... Wait, who was the guy that did the voice for Roger's dad? Steven? Do you think, Steve, do you think
Steve,
he
baby.
just watched Don't Breathe earlier that day and was like, I'll take that voice?
I thought you were gonna say, do you think he would do a good
No.
job in
Me
the
too.
role?
Me
There you
too.
go. He did great in that movie, huh?
Because it's good.
Now you're gonna see what I
In the
see.
baster. So I thought that was kind of it didn't it kind of took me out of the movie, but it also just kind of changed the dynamic of the movie for me. It did go back to where it was once we got past that scene, but and I don't know if it's a criticism. I get that we had to have this plot shift. I get that was probably a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was, So my overall rating for this movie, by the way, I thought it was actually really well done. Honestly,
Agreed.
that was really well done. I thought the acting was really good. I thought it was shot really well. I thought, generally speaking, this was a very well done thriller. I would call it a thriller.
Agreed,
That would
yeah.
be my thing. So I'm going to give it,
You don't call it a rom-com? You don't think it's a rom-com?
I would say rom-com thriller.
Okay, cool.
An erotic thriller. Yes.
I'm going to give it 3.8 turkey basters out of 5.
Knew it.
So Dan,
I guess going first got me to have the turkey baster.
so
So you're saying
This
you
is-
came first?
no,
I came
this
way
is a
first.
this is a perfect not rom-com setup, but it's always like it's gonna start like son. Did we ever tell you the story of how you were born?
I love
How I
that.
Met Your Mother.
I love
Did
that.
I ever tell you?
I love that sketch.
But
So you're going next.
yeah, I will go. I will agree. No, I don't know why I'm saying it like
To
that.
disagree.
No,
I would like to agree to disagree with you, Dan.
He's gonna say I hated it.
I didn't watch it.
Wait, what movie were we watching?
Don't brief.
Don't
brief.
see.
Don't brief.
Don't see again.
Yeah, like I brought up a little bit. Like I like movies with like simple setups.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one, it's like breaking into the house. You know, I've seen a few films kind of like this. It's like I brought up earlier. People Under the Stairs. I like that one. I like the movie The Collector. You know, people just going,
dying.
something happens. Things don't. The plan doesn't go accordingly. No, and I think I agree. Like I don't want to say this is much a horror movie, even though there's horrors in it with like that happens.
Aspect,
It's very much a thriller. No, I mean that's all I'm gonna say about it. I enjoyed it.
What?
I know. Well, because
What
I
is
think,
your rating?
I think Dan kind of summed it up perfectly. So
What did I say? That was so perfect. I want to hear it
Verbatim,
again.
go.
no. I
Damn-
will
damn
give
it.
it. I'll give it 3.9.
Ooh, 1 point over
Not.
9.
You all said I was gonna say a turkey baster. I'm
No one
not
said that.
saying.
I already took turkey baster.
I'm
Find
not
something
saying.
else.
No, you
Oh,
were like,
just
oh, that's
you
gonna be
wait.
his object. It is gonna be the hair. That was on the turkey baster.
That single hair.
Yeah, that is my item.
That single hair. That's perfect.
Yeah,
that's
that
like
3.9.
the hairy nipple.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing like those hairy nipples in Barbarian.
Ugh.
That
Okay, I'm
was
glad
like
you had to
so
say-
freaking creepy.
The attention to detail.
Everyone listen to our episode.
You really paid attention.
Well, no, no. Do you know the the story behind
Barbarian.
that story
Oh.
behind the hair was the director's idea suddenly to have it. So what he did is he walked over to the assistant
And snipped
director
his own-
and
oh.
snipped her hair, snipped a piece off, and put it on the.
He was like, "Your hair looks
On
like
the
pubes.
turkey baster.
Yeah,
Your
That
hair
is so
is
gross.
disgusting."
that's my item.
Uh,
Gross enough for you, buddy?
That's better
That
than mine.
voice
for
is
sure.
even
Mine
gross,
was
sir.
obvious.
That's better
Mine
than
was
that
so
hair.
obvious.
That hair's better than your hair.
Oh.
Go on,
Sam?
Sam. She has a very disgusted look right now.
I always see when you talk.
Ow.
So does everyone.
Slam, bam, thank you.
I mentioned in the beginning how when you were doing the summary, just an overall, like the premise of it was a hook in it of itself from the get-go. But the story was very entertaining. I felt like I wasn't trying to guess what was happening or what was going to happen. I was along for the ride fully. I enjoyed the cinematography, and I feel like that lighting and the tone amplified the story as well. Because I feel like at certain points it gave off that dingy, dirty vibe, and I was like, ugh, I was just grossed out. So that was great. And then this movie didn't really rely on dialogue as much. Like a good chunk of it was just chasing and whatnot, and I felt like that made it intense and it conveyed the tone that it should. So that was great. And oh wow, I think Travis read my notes. I said it's minimal setup and then leaves room for necessary action and kept me on the edge of my seat, even after seeing it twice. So my rating was 4 Rocky's face when she saw the baster out of 5.
For Rocky's face.
That was
Rocky
a good,
4.
That was a good face.
Thank you. She has a good
When
face
she
for like
realized
surprise.
what the hell was
Yeah.
going down, that was
Her
nice.
eyes.
She's actually really good. I really
I
like her
agree.
a lot.
Yeah.
And
She's
she's
very good.
she has a great look too.
All right, Frank.
Yes, quite.
Take us home, Frank.
She could be Lauren Holly's daughter.
Lauren
I know
From
who that
Dumb and
is.
Dumber, Mary Swanson.
Look
She
at-
was- she
look
was
at
also-
Lauren Holly and say to me, "Yeah, that
Right
could be
now,
her daughter."
look her in
She was
the
also-
eyes.
She was also in the movie Down Periscope, which I'm sure none of you have
I
ever.
saw it.
Dan's probably the only one.
Well, I
What, you're
saw
calling us uncultured swine?
No, I'm saying it's not good.
He's like,
Cabin Boy.
you are, but that's not what I'm saying. I will. Oh yeah.
Is that her?
Mhm.
Lauren Holly?
I gotta look at her a little younger than that.
So-
that's her now. Look at her from like Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, Lauren Holly, Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, don't you think?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a daughter.
For sure.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, this one's better.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't you
That's
think that
perfect.
Yeah.
looked like?
I agree.
So it's Jane, right? Jane Levy.
Yes, Jane
Mhm.
Lynch.
Okay.
In her
Frank.
tracksuit.
I parrot a lot of what you guys say. That it was very minimal, effective, really tense, shot well, paced really well,
Plagiarism.
plagiarismed. It's got some really genuinely shocking moments, and
Just a few.
Yes, it does.
Huh.
The turkey baster being the least.
Yeah, that wasn't shocking.
Been there, done that. Nope.
Yeah, it was the most mundane.
I will never baste a turkey
Ever
I-
again.
the same way ever
Thanksgiving canceled this year.
again.
I
This-
didn't have Thanksgiving that
this-
year.
Squirty.
Oh.
This is where we cut to a shot of Dan at Thanksgiving this year, looking at the turkey baster, going
Hey, kids.
like he just
I
saw.
can't.
He just
do
had a
this.
flashback to Nam.
Oh.
I should do that. I should do like I'm holding the turkey baster, then next to me, split screen is a picture of
Wait, that could be our
blind guy holding
commercial.
the turkey baster.
That could be our
That's a
commercial.
great idea.
And it's just the turkey baster scene, and then just cut to him just
I
in
can't.
the apron.
And then Joni like, what's wrong? I can't do this. you have to do this. I can't do this.
I was
Well, I'm
gonna
down
say
for that.
even too,
Let's
like,
do it.
but that's a better idea. I was gonna say too, like he's going and he like opens up the oven, but like the steam and stuff comes out, so like he gets blinded, so he can't see.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Continue.
That's not funny at all.
No, it's
That's-
supposed to be sad.
So yeah, definitely good acting all around.
For sure.
The writing was minimal, effective, nothing like too terrible.
I agree.
Serviceable at worst, but pretty decent at best.
Never distracting. I never
No,
went, oh
no,
my
no.
God,
It's
what
like
are
you're
you
going down a
saying?
checklist.
I feel like that the draw here was the intensity of the direction and the performances. The
Agreed.
I
writing
think that's
was
what
secondary.
Fade's great at.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's a big strength for Evil Dead.
And hopefully Alien.
He only has
Oh,
one
yes.
miss. He
Yeah,
only has
hopefully.
one miss in my book.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No,
I was
he
like,
didn't direct that.
He
What-
still was
well, no.
involved.
For me, it was gonna be the girl in the spider web.
Oh, we don't talk about that.
That didn't come out. Anyway,
I fell asleep in the theater.
I would definitely come again to this movie to
You
watch the
came-
movie. Yes.
you-
Anyway,
Where'd you come?
huh?
Where'd you came?
So, having said that, I'm gonna give this movie 4 blind daddies out of 5.
Blind Daddies.
I really
the
enjoyed it.
arms were arming, though.
The arms were arming.
Mm-hmm.
Theme
The
song
facial
kicks
hair was
in.
facial hairing.
Yeah, it's just the eyes.
Yeah,
They're like
just
slowly
cover it,
fading
yeah.
out now.
Yeah, like
The what?
grizzly
I
polar
said
bear
theme
daddy
song's
idea.
kicking in right now as we're fading out. Join us next week.
But I don't think 2 is necessary.
No.
I think we could just leave it at 1. We don't have to acknowledge
One and
that 2
done.
exists.
Did you hear that, Frank?
No.
You're like, I don't think 2 is necessary, and then the crickets from outside
Oh,
kicked
that's
in.
funny.
Have your
And then
headphones
the
on.
lights
Hi,
flickered.
Joni.
Hello, Joni.
Hey, Joni.
But yeah, that's me. 4 out of 5.
What was the object?
Blind daddies.
Okay.
Join us next week.
Well, hang on. We're going to pick next week's episode. This
Oh.
was wonderful. I'm going to pick it.
I know.
I'm
I
gonna
was
pull
saying.
it
I
out.
was
Reach
pretending.
into
I was,
the
I'm
crystal.
reaching
I was
into
saying
the
you're
crystal
doing.
skull. I'm mixing it all up because I'm hoping for something that's not a slasher.
It's
It's
like
like
goes
80%
west.
I'm looking
still
for something really
Imagine
fun
he gets
and
climax.
No.
silly. and
Climax.
just So much fun and silly. I'm looking for just,
Drum roll.
Solo.
The Descent.
Oh.
You're gonna have fun at that one.
The Descent.
The Descent.
The Decent.
The Descent.
That's decent.
The Descent. The
The Descent.
I love
I
all
hope you're
three of
ready
us.
to
Yeah.
Descent or
descend.
It's
Descent?
the Descent
The
Caves.
Descent.
I'm just gonna descend.
The Descent.
I hope
It's
you're ready to
the-
descend.
The cover, if you're questioning it, is a bunch of people forming a skull.
The Descent.
Like that one.
It's
Well,
a
here, let me
very
look it up right
specific
now.
it's a specific
So if you ever want to
piece
go
of art.
That was Neil Marshall, right?
spur
What-
plucking,
what-
it
What
was yes.
year did it come out?
2004. 2004? No, 6?
2005.
2005, yeah.
The
Do you ever want to go like cave
Descent.
diving?
That's what he's doing in Spain.
Here's the title. I mean, here's the poster.
Oh, that is people.
Have you never seen it before?
Wow. That doesn't look good.
Well, have fun.
Can't wait.
Tune in to hear Dan's
What year
reaction
is it?
into
2000?
the descent into
2005.
madness.
He doesn't even do the
2005?
outtake or the outro. He's
Yes.
like, yeah,
It's
have fun.
2005?
Yes, it
Thanks.
is.
And what are we watching it on?
It's on Vudu.
On the various services
all
and
platforms
platforms
that
that are
we've been
available.
using.
Cool.
We can't say it.
It's on Vudu. It is.
The boots.
All right, everyone. Or Fandango at home. All right,
Okay.
everyone.
This has been fun. Hey, guys, if you like us, share us, write a review, tell your friends,
Share us.
share us.
Write a review.
I think I said that.
And also share us.
And share us.
But you need to write a review.
We would love for you to tune in again with us and bring your friends with you.
Mm-hmm.
We so
By force if
enjoy
necessary.
Strangers in the Alps,
A
movie
podcast.
podcast, a
smoothie
movie
podcast.
podcast.
Sloovy.
A
My
smoothie.
name is Dan.
My name is Travis.
My name is Sam.
My name is...
Beep.
And I can
we
see again.
are out.